my name's Ashley Farmer, and I'm a student at George Mason University taking INTS 249 Digital Literacy, and today I'm going to be talking about the whistleblower Edward Snowden. So starting off, we're going to talk a little bit about who Edward Snowden was. So Edward Snowden, otherwise known as a whistleblower, he's a fugitive currently who is residing in Russia, and he's there on asylum. No one knows how much longer he's really going to be there since he does have to apply for asylum very frequently, but Snowden got his hands on government private documents and he gave them to journalists to tell the public. So why would this be a national security problem? This is a national security problem because these documents had leaked information pertaining to the NSA and how they were tapping into private information after what happened during 9/11. So basically a huge surveillance system was put in place that violated United States citizens' rights. Snowden was able to get his hands on these classified records because he was employed by the CIA, and also he was able to get his hands on these documents because the NSA hasn't really been able to keep their security methods and weapons under wraps. They've been blasted on the internet quite a few times, which has led to a lot of breaches. But the reason he gave these documents to journalists was because they would be able to pick and choose what the public would learn and when they would learn it. This was extremely important because it was up to the journalists to decide what was released based on national security purposes. So in 2013, PRISM, which is a program by the NSA, was tapping into data and information in major companies like Google, Apple, AT&T, etc. The NSA was using these companies to intercept messages from no one in particular, but just really in general. This let them create a database on basically everybody whose information and data that they had. On top of this, they were also monitoring people's finances, which is not legal nationally or internationally, which is kind of crazy. Here, I'm going to add a small clip of Snowden himself explaining what the purposes of the NSA was and what it really kind of turned out to be.
NSA and the intelligence community in general is focused on getting intelligence wherever it can by any means possible that it believes on the grounds of sort of a self-certification that they serve the national interest. Originally, we saw that focus very narrowly tailored as foreign intelligence gathered overseas. Now, increasingly, we see that it's happening domestically.
One of the political outcomes of these documents being released was that the NSA helped other countries spy on their neighbors. A more specific example is that the NSA helped Great Britain spy on around 20 countries in Africa and popular businessmen that were residing there. Here, I'm going to insert part of an article that has to do with the documents. Moving on from just politically, we're going to talk socially, and this also goes back to the journalists. So this has made people incredibly aware that nothing they do online is safe or secure. In the case of the journalists who publicize the documents and their information, their lives have changed immensely. They have to constantly watch what's going on around them, and they've been subjected to heavy scrutiny by the public. Now that everybody is aware that these documents exist and we're able to just find some of them online and see what the journalists had originally published, it's really been an eye-opener to America, and it's opened a whole bunch of court cases. And right now, the NSA and the CIA are really under fire, and they have been for the past couple of years. No president so far has decided or really talked about that they want to pardon Snowden, so he is going to stay in Russia for the time being as long as he can file for asylum. But other than that, we don't really know what the future looks like in terms of these documents. Anyways, thank you so much for watching. I'll see you in the next 2 weeks.